Okay, so me and my brother Brandon, we were talking, and we decided to do a video blog on him exiting the military. I went and put on my hat. Now, this hat is very special to me. I actually got it in basic when he graduated basic in San Antonio. What year was that?
2004.
2004, and I wear this hat all the time. It reminds me of him. I also keep this charm around my neck every day. It's a little heart pendant, and I also wear this ring every day that he gave me. My brother is one of the most special and important people to me in the world, and I just want to share this experience with him really quick. So we were talking earlier, and you were saying that you were nervous about exiting the military, and I just want to know why.
There are a few reasons why I'm nervous, but the biggest reason is because you got all these people, like family, friends, just random strangers, when they find out you're getting out of the military, they say, oh, no, stay in, realist, there's no jobs out here, or you're going to be homeless, or what are you thinking of, our economy's in a crisis, and it kind of freaks you out just a little bit. Like, I think to myself, like, am I really doing the right thing? Do I really want to get out and chance it and go up against my civilian counterparts for the same jobs, or do I want to stay in where I have a guaranteed paycheck?
So tell me, how many days do you have left?
Right now I have 71 days.
71. And what's your rank?
Right now I am an E4, senior airman.
A senior airman. And tell me, what do you love about being in the military?
The biggest thing that I love, probably the education benefits, because there's no way that I would be able to afford 2 degrees by myself. Like, one is probably doable, but 2 degrees, which I'm kind of sort of trying to work out right now, but that's probably the biggest benefit to me.
Okay. What made you really decide to get into the military?
Actually, a lot of people ask me that question all the time. I've been in 6 years, and a little bit over 6 years, almost 7, pretty much, by the time I make it out. But people ask me that question all the time, and I never had one set answer, because what actually happened is I was passing a strip mall one day, and they had all these recruiters lined up, that like their different officers were lined up in this particular strip mall, and I just walked in and started talking to the guy, and he sounded convincing, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try.
Really? So how did you tell our mom that you were going to go to the Air Force?
Initially, I talked to the Marine recruiter first, and I was like, I really want to be a Marine. I think that would be so cool to be a Marine, because they're all gung-ho about everything. So I was like, I'm going to do that. So I went home, and I was like, Mom, I think I want to join Marines. And all I can remember is she gave me the stupidest look that I ever received from any human being on this planet. So, like, I was just like, yeah, they have to look at me like that, shoot me down. But that's what I want to do at first. But then after talking to the Marine recruiter and talking to Mom, like, that just wasn't an option. So I just took the easier route of going Air Force, because everybody knows that we're the easiest branch, probably.
And are you happy? Are you happy with that decision?
Why you ask me that?
Well, I just wanted to know.
I always think, like, I truly believe, like, I always felt that maybe I should join the Army.
Okay.
But I don't know, though, because it's so long ago, and yeah. I just wonder, you know how you do something and then you wonder what would have happened if? I wonder what would have happened if I was in the Army. Would I be further along in my career? Would I be happier?
Now tell me, where have you been so far? Tell us.
Well, basic was in San Antonio, Texas. Then I went to Biloxi, Mississippi for training for 9 months. Then after that, my first actual real Air Force base was Little Rock Air Force Base in Arkansas. And I stayed there for a little bit over a year and a half. Then after that was Osan Air Base in Korea. It's a little bit south of Seoul. So I stayed there for a year. And then I went to Kadena Air Force Base, Japan, and that's in Okinawa. It's like it's like Hawaii to them. It's just like way, way far. Yeah. And then now I'm in Florida, in the panhandle of Florida at Hobart Field.
Okay. I remember when you told me you were going into the military, and I cried that day. But then I sucked it up and I thought about the effect that it would have on you to not have my full support, and I called you. And I told you that I loved you and I was going to back up. And it was in the middle of the night. And I don't know if you remember. And I said, and I cried and I was like, I just love you and I'm going to support you on whatever you do. And you called me the next day. He's like, thank you because mom is yada, yada, yada. You don't remember that?
No,
yeah,
I don't.
I called you in the middle of the night. He was like, thank you. I was just like, I just want to support you and love you, whatever this is. You know how I get like that sometimes. So the most thing that you're just really, most anxious about is just getting out into what we call the working world. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the phrase that came to my mind, the words that came to my mind was getting out into the real world, because like the military shelters you and protects you so much. You're just like, it blankets you so much from everything else that's going on. Unless you have a lot of friends that are civilian, or unless you keep in close contact with your family, then you really just don't know what it's like outside of this military community. And that's kind of what the military did to me. But luckily, I just have so many civilian friends, and I do keep in touch with my family. So I really know what it's like. But at the same time, I've never had to deal with it, so I don't know firsthand what it's like to just be out there and have a real job, even though real job.
So just like before, I am going to support you in whatever you decide to do. You have my full support, and I know that it might seem a little scary now because you don't know 100% what you're going to do, but as your big sister and as somebody who actually looks up to you, I know that you're going to do the best that you can, no matter what it is. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, if people want to send me some money, that'd be cool.
Oh my God, beat it.
I'm just playing.
Okay.
No, that's pretty much it. That's everything in a nutshell. Those are my biggest worries. Now, I'm glad that I have money saved up so I can survive for 2 or 3 months, but I'm just wondering, am I going to have to take a job that I really don't want and I'm overqualified for just to be able to get by until I find something else? Because I'm too smart to be, to go work at some entry-level position. Like, I would need to jump right into the workforce. And I'm a little bit afraid I guess that's another thing that I'm afraid of. Like, I won't be able to start where I need to versus somebody who graduated college has, they started entry-level, and now that they're 25 and I'm 25, they're already, a few steps ahead. Does that make sense?
I understand perfectly what you're saying. You're talking about the work experience outside of being in the Air Force. Yeah. But you said it's just about positive thinking, and if you think positively, it's going to come to you. I believe in that, my heart. Now give me a 5.
Wait a minute, which way are we going?
Right there.
Okay.
Right there. 2, 3. I love you. Give me a kiss. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you, little brother.
Love you too.